Wegtjongfleuzen, hier gaat hierbij.
On that name! Put some respect 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 on that name!
From the academy grind to the final call, a thrill ride through the rise and the fall. This ain't your 6 o'clock news, this ain't a fantasy. This is the side of the badge the media don't want you to see. Law enforcement's favorite unk, the one they all salute. Coach Clee, the coldest detective to ever do it. With Sergeant B Safe dropping meaningful truth. They're bringing stories from the streets for the vets and the youth. You're locked into the Podumentary Black and Blue. Real talk, real stories, the untold side, Black and Blue. What you thought you knew, get ready to see it through. Coach Clee. Coach Clee.
Black and Blue. The Podumentary we discuss physical fitness, recruitment, operational security and social pressures, public trust, and more.
Body cam activated.
Recording.
Here on stage, let me maximize this screen. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. It's good to see you all. I hope you guys missed me because I missed you. I know it's been a while. It's been since April, I believe it was. We didn't have one in May. We didn't have one in June. I understand, and I apologize for that. I got a dynamic show set up for you guys today. We're going to learn a lot. We're going to have a lot of fun. We got new episodes of Sergeant B Safe. We got new talking points. It's going to be a great show. So make sure you tag, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you check out the website, of course, for more updates. I'm working on one of my latest books and all that. I think there's a free PDF from an event that I did a couple months ago. So make sure you guys check that out. I look forward to it. I want you guys to see all the things that are happening in the world of law enforcement, in the world of the community, in the world, just in the world going on, trying to entertain and educate, because this is the podcast. It's just for you. You know, this is Black and Blue. Of course, it's the podcast is just for you. It's a podumentary because we entertain and we educate at the same time. I'm your host. I'm Coach Clee. I'm your motivational speaker, your empowerment coach, your author, and your favorite baker's favorite baker. If you haven't already seen the videos, I know there's some music videos up on this channel, on the YouTube channel, because we're streaming on 5 different platforms right now. But there's some music videos, some new character. Xavier Rhodes has a couple movies on there, some more explainers. It's a lot of fun. This channel is a variety channel. This is a variety show. We're going to learn a lot. We're going to enjoy each other ourselves. We're going to enjoy the show. We're going to ask questions and engage. It's going to be great. We go live now. It's recorded. I understand that. Try to go monthly. I know I'm fell behind, but don't fault me for it. I got a dynamic show set up for you. I interviewed a lot of good people coming up, and I know they've been waiting to see this, so I'm happy to finally put this out here. I got to go to a couple trainings where I got to meet new people, network, and I got to see some guests that have already been on the show, but I never met them face-to-face until recently, like about a month or two ago, and it's great. They're great people, got good things going on. I'm going to explain all that momentarily because we got a show to do, all right? We do have this show. This is Unmasking the Truths and Safety and Justice, okay? We're going to talk about, for one, you guys seen the intro. I hope you guys like the intro. The variety show. We've got the explainer talking about the latest trends in frauds, things to do, things to look out for, and how to protect yourself, because frauding is everywhere, from banking to retirement to scams, retirement scams, loans, anything you can think of, there's some sort of fraud set up with it. All right. We're going to talk about some of the current trends. We're going to talk about some success stories. We're going to talk about how individual investigators got into their positions with bank fraud, banking. Along with that, we're also going to talk about child welfare and the mental health of that, and kind of talk about agencies that help out with that, agencies that do forensic interviews, things like that. And it's all going to tie together. Trust me, it's all going to tie together. Sergeant Be Safe has a brand new cartoon for online safety for adults and kids. A little bit of entertainment value, got a little bit of action going on there. Then, we got to get Chief Lacey in here to drop his knowledge as well. Then we're going to talk about safety lessons. We're going to talk about accountability. We're going to talk about traffic stops, things we need to do and not, consequences on growing up without accountability and not knowing the things that you can and cannot do, and the price you pay for the things you believe that you've gotten away with as a juvenile that come back to haunt you as an adult. We're going to talk about mental health and wellness. We're going to talk about law enforcement careers, of course, staying in shape. And we're going to have a special donation, Own Your Own Way. They still have their same mission going forward. And I'm going to highlight it with, I'm going to wrap it up with some of the trainings that I went to, the Keystone Conference being one of them, B-Sides being another one of them, and also Wellness Beyond the Badge, of course, where I got to physically meet Ernie Stevens and Chad Bruckner, where I got to meet them face to face. They've both been on the show at least more than once. I know Chad's also was the original voice of SWAT Officer Clay Moore in the old Sergeant Be Safe cartoons. So you might recognize his voice, you might recognize him, but he's been on the show. Both of them have tremendous things going on. So we'll talk about that. We'll wrap it up with that. But we're going to keep this train going. Got a lot of information, got a lot of videos. We're going to have fun doing it. Make sure you tag, like, share, subscribe. Keep it going. If you have questions or comments, check them. Make sure you put them in the comment section. They will get answered. They will be reflected. So you're not going to be ignored. All right. We're going to keep the ball moving forward, because one thing, this is one of my favorite videos. It's a short video, but it explains. I remember when I was married and I worked in my first law enforcement job years ago. This is back with Nokia cell phones, and they used to fit in your lapel pocket. One thing I learned now, why I keep my phone always on silent. Back then, you had to actually physically go in and put it on silent or mute it. But I remember I was in the backyard. I was sneaking up on someone who had warrants. I was tiptoeing up to him. Then all of a sudden, do, and the person heard it. They saw me. They took off running. The fight was on. It ended up capturing them, getting them. It was a peaceful resolution. Other than that, but the element of surprise was gone. Or sometimes those who are not in law enforcement don't really understand what we go through at a moment's notice. We can have total boredom for hours on end. Then all of a sudden that call hits, and we have to shift in gear. And sometimes the phone calls go ignored, the text messages go ignored for a good reason. And here's a good explainer. All right, this is a small, brief video, but here we go.
You want to know why he's not texting you back right now? Whoa, had to switch up on the flow, gotta keep them on their toes. I move quick, I make the most, why they copy what I wrote. Follow everything I post, never trip about a clone, cause they know what's a sheep to a goat. Yeah. Welcome to the main event. Applying pressure, but I promise they ain't make it then. In their head.
A little bit of Sergeant Be Safe right there if you don't already know, but it shows something always going on even when it's not. So therefore, a lot of times you can respond back with text messaging or phone calls, and other times you just cannot. Okay. All right. And a quick explainer there, but I'm gonna have the new guy, Xavier Rose. He's gonna head off this explainer right here, talking about the thin blue line and what it is. Here we go.
Gentlemen of courage, let's talk. Look around this room. This is the line, the only thing standing between order and chaos. You know, in a world that loves to throw shade, where the job is grueling and the gratitude is scarce, remember this: you didn't sign up for easy. You signed up for necessary. You are the thin blue line. That blue is the courage that rises against the odds. The black, a tribute to those who paid the ultimate price. I see the weight you bear. I see the disrespect you sometimes endure. But let me be clear, your character isn't shaped by the loudest critics. It's forged in the silence, in those moments when you step up while others step back. Every single day you enter the arena. Dust on your faces, sweat on your brows, and yes, the blood of the brave. You hold the line. Be a lion, charge forward with boldness. Protect the innocent like your life depends on it. Be trustworthy. Your reputation is your gold. Guard it fiercely. Don't let a moment's lapse tarnish it. Be smart. Keep your head on a swivel. Go home safe every night, so you can throw the victory flare in the air. Don't let cynicism drag you down. You're here to serve, to protect, and to fight for what's right. So be brave. When you step out that door, carry your dignity high, and remember, stay safe out there. Keep the faith. Watch each other's backs. The world craves heroes. And guess what? You are those heroes. Be safe.
Get me on the screen here. Get that minimized. All right. Yep. A little motivational video, a little motivational speech right there. I got the next one queued up. I honestly don't remember what it is, so we're gonna be surprised together. Then we're gonna get mainly we're gonna kick off the show, but I forget what this one is. Don't fault me. I know I'm a little rusty.
Black and blue. The Podumentary we discuss physical fitness, recruitment, operational security and social pressures, public trust, and more.
Body cam activated.
Recording.
All right, so I had that one queued up twice, but it's all right. It's good to watch it again. It's a good reminder. But like I said, we're gonna kick off the show right now. All right. So the first thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna introduce latest trends to fraud, a news clipping that I found, or AKA created. Gotta love AI. But a news information is going to be shared to kick off the show, to kind of get into what the investigators are doing now, a couple fraud trends that are already out there. You probably already know about them, and some things that kind of kick the show off. And we'll have the news report, then we'll have the explainer, then we'll get into some interviews. All right, here we go.
Identity theft is evolving. In California, no one is safe from the digital shadow. Christine Martinez investigates how AI, now a weapon, steals more than just your password.
I can create a realistic video of anyone.
New apps generate counterfeit IDs. They bypass even the strictest security checks instantly.
Anyone, our traditional verification methods are no longer enough.
Stay vigilant and always verify the person on the other side of the screen.
And we're going to talk about ways to do that. We're going to talk about some of the latest trends. Here's an explainer right here. We're going to let this guy talk about it. Here we go.
Hey, everyone. I'm Alex Bradford. Welcome back to Tech Talk today, where we dive into the digital world and uncover the secrets that keep you safe online. Today, we're tackling a really important topic: the rising security threats from deepfakes. You know those AI-generated voices and videos that look so real but can be used for all the wrong reasons? Well, let's break it down. Recent studies show that a shocking 1 in every 100 calls made to contact centers might be synthetic. That's right. Hackers are now using advanced AI to mimic voices and deceive businesses and individuals alike. For credit unions and other organizations, detecting these deepfakes is now more critical than ever. So, how can organizations fight back? Enter the new technology from VoiceGuard, a solution that helps identify manipulated voices, like those altered to steal your identity. This tech gives contact center agents the power to spot these sophisticated threats before they can do any damage. Imagine being an agent and suddenly hearing a voice that sounds just like your boss, asking for sensitive information. With VoiceGuard, agents get insights that alert them to potential account takeover attempts. It's like having a superhero sidekick on the job. But the threat isn't just limited to big corporations. Everyday individuals are also targeted, often without even realizing it. So, how can you protect yourself? Let's dive into the details. First up, we have the rise of romance scams. Scammers are no longer just using stolen profile pictures. They're now creating highly interactive experiences. With real-time face-swapping tech, they can hop on video calls, making it harder to spot a fraudster. And if you think insisting on a video call will save you, think again. These AI deepfakes can fool even the most cautious among us. And let's not forget family and relationships. Scammers often maintain long-term relationships using cloned voices to send personalized messages. It's a sad reality that many victims face, manipulation that leads to devastating financial losses. So, how can you stay safe? Here are a few tips. 1. Family safe word. Agree on a unique word with your loved ones for verification during emergency calls. 2. The hand check. When on a video call, ask the person to wave their hand in front of their face. Deepfake algorithms often struggle with that. 3. Out-of-band verification. If you receive a financial request through messaging, don't respond directly. Call back using a trusted number. Remember, the digital landscape is evolving, and so are the tactics of fraudsters. Stay informed, stay alert, and keep your personal data secure. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more tech insights. Until next time, stay safe out there.
Like I said, it's a good intro and explainer of some of the things that we talked about in the Keystone Connection conference that I went to. We learned, I know it's kind of evolved since then. AI is growing tremendously, and some of those techniques help. Some of those may have already be outdated by the time I learned it I went in May, and now we're already in July. So therefore, you got to stay on top of it. And I'm going to continue to be bringing information like this forward as best I can, the state, so we can stay educated and stay ahead of it, because it's a billion-dollar industry that's going in the opposite direction of justice and law enforcement, and the bad guys are out there getting it, as opposed to the good people here, like us, trying to do the right thing, are the ones getting scammed out of our hard-earned money. It's just not right. So we're going to talk more about it. It's all going to come together, like I said, but we're going to jump into the first interview here. The first interview, I met her at Keystone Connections last year. We actually got a chance to sit and network and talk this year. She volunteered to be interviewed to talk about her training and experiences on how she got into fraud investigations, trends that she's seen, things that she's learned. And it's not from a law enforcement point of view, it's actually a bank fraud investigator's point of view. So I'm going to let her take it away right now. Her name is Elizabeth Cackowski. Thank you very much for coming on the show. We're going to jump right into this interview. And so I am sitting here with Liz, and we are at the Keystone Connection. This is year number 2. Wow, this is the conference where law enforcement officers, where we have bankers, we have investigators, we have multiple facets of people, IGs, many different facets of people, all trying to come up with one solution for fraud. And before we get into it, I'd just like for you to tell us a little bit about yourself. Liz, can you tell us who you are?
Yeah, so my name is Liz. I've been in the financial crime space, or the I've been in investigations for about 12 years now. Started off in retail banking. I always thought fraud was really cool, and I had kind of a nose for it. I used to catch fraudulent checks over the teller line. Talking to my customers, I uncovered some elder fraud. I always was able to see when something just didn't feel quite right. And so a position opened up in the security department, and my manager convinced me to go for it. And it ended up being the perfect fit for me. I mean, I absolutely love what I do. I happened to start in fraud at a very interesting time for the industry. I was lucky enough to get to basically write my own job description at that point.
Oh, that's cool.
Told me to figure out something productive to do with debit cards, and it happened to be a time when our area was getting hit really hard with skimming. So I really leaned into it. I read everything I could about it, and it turned out to be something I was really good at with the skimming investigation.
Nice. So what have you learned from fraud early on that is beneficial now till today that you believe?
One of the biggest things that I talk to people about when they're new to fraud is just learning how to really trust their instincts. Especially, I do a lot of frontline education. I like to talk to new people, especially when I was in banking, talking to the new tellers about fraud. And you can't always explain why, but a lot of times you know that something just doesn't feel quite right. And training people to trust those feelings and to kind of lean into it a little bit has been really good.
And sorry for the background noise. Hopefully we'll take care of that. So we're at a conference right now. Can you tell us a little about the conference and how you got involved in it?
So the Keystone Connection it's a joint educational and networking conference put on by the Delaware Valley chapter, which I'm the vice president of, and the Pittsburgh Metro chapter. And this is our 24th year holding this gathering for people from all walks of the financial crime landscape, whether it's banking investigators, we've got some AML people, we've got insurance, we've got lots of law enforcement, like anybody who has a hand in the financial crime space can come together to talk about what they're seeing, to share tips and tricks and to learn from one another and to build relationships, because a lot of times the success of a case at any level really boils down to the kind of relationships that you can forge, because you can get the information a lot faster. And something that somebody's seeing on one side of the state, it might be the same group that's working on the other side of the state. So coming together, sharing information, building those larger cases can really make an impact on the community.
Yeah. So for 24 years this has been going on. How many years have you participated in it?
This is, I believe, my 10th year. I've been on the board of my chapter for 6 years, I believe. So I've been kind of behind the scenes at that point, but I did come as an attendee for several years before, and I always learn something every single time I'm here.
And so you've been coming for 10 years now and on the board for 6. So you see the dynamics, the importance of the dynamics of the speakers that come and the industry that we're in. What kind of speakers, what are some of the speakers that you've met that have been so memorable that you believe are game changers?
And Jay Davina, who works with us on that, he used to be one of our board members, but now we still hold on to him. The very first year I came to Keystone, he gave a speech on Reg E, and I was still relatively new to fraud at that point, and that talk meant so much to me. It really broke down a lot of the details that I hadn't understood previously, and he became a really trusted resource at that point. Jay's talked about a lot of different things. We've tapped him for a lot of different topics over the years, but I remember that, like my very first session. So Jay is definitely a game changer.
And for someone who's never heard of Keystone Connection or even know what it's about, and they want to come or be a part of it or learn something, what kind of advice would you give them?
would say just come. Come and you can get as much of it out of it as you want. You know, some people are more shy. They have a hard time with the networking aspect. So it's perfectly okay to just come and listen and come and pay attention to the conversations that are happening around you. The topics that the speakers are talking about, obviously, you know, you can learn a whole lot, even if you're not really comfortable in a networking type situation. But if you try to talk to one or two people, you know, it's a really great group of people. So, you know, I would encourage anybody at any comfort level or tenure in the field. You know, there's really something for everybody here.
Gotcha. And so, being an investigator with a bank, I'm pretty sure you have some really cool stories. Is there anything that you can share with us, some of your success stories or some incidents that happened that you were like, I really love doing this job because I got to do this, and this? I mean, of course, I'm not asking for details or names or anything like that, but can you share any of your highlights of your career with us?
So I talked about trusting your gut. When I came back from maternity leave, when I had my youngest son, it was my very first week back. I didn't have anything really to do yet. I was just trying to catch up on what I had missed. And I was looking through card alerts at the time. And I saw an alert for a card that had, by the time I saw it, it had already been cleared as not fraud. The customer had called in, said the activity was legitimate. They'd unblocked the card and moved on. But it just didn't sit right with me. Like it just didn't feel right looking at the activity that returned back. I had that gut feeling, so I pulled up the account, and the card holder, or the account holder, happened to live near a family member of mine. And so it kind of became personal at that point, and I really, like, I dug in a little bit more just to try to understand what had happened. And I just kept digging, and it kept getting stranger and weirder, and the circle kept getting larger, and it ended up being one of my favorite investigations, because it turned out that there was a whole lot of fraud going on. And I don't know how long it would have gone on before anybody caught on if I hadn't
intervened. There you go.
Myself.
So you were the hero of that one, huh?
It was a fun case.
And so, working in this industry for years, you've seen a lot of things change. What are some things that what are some new things that you see are developing that you either have to embrace or you see coming down the pipeline and have to learn? Because these fraudsters, these bad guys, they're evolving and they're only getting worse. And no matter how long or how hard we fight, it just seems like it's something that we have to stay on top of. What kinds of things are you doing to stay on top of the game?
I mean, coming to things like this is a great start to keep as current with the trends as you can. Paying attention to podcasts and information that they put out in different networking groups and educational groups. I mean, we heard it a lot today. You know, AI has so many different implications coming down the pipeline, and the barriers to entry for us, you know, either on the banking side or law enforcement, you know, we have to be careful about the things that we try, whereas the bad guys don't have to. They don't need proof of concept. They don't need to prove it to a board that something is a good endeavor. They can just try something. So they're evolving a whole lot faster than the good guys can contribute to keep up. So I would say that's probably the biggest thing to pay attention to right now.
And we've heard a lot of speakers talk about the importance of knowing AI and how AI is coming in. Like, they kicked in the door like it was a search warrant, and they're looking for the hidden treasure. And so I'm laughing, but it's not funny because it is very serious. That AI has changed the game for elder abuse. It's changed the game for bank fraud, bad checks. It's changed the game for child abuse. It's changed the game for bank fraud, bad checks. It's changed the game for child abuse. Anything you can think of that you had an idea of a normal scammer from back in the day, and then you had an idea of a normal crime, at least from where I'm coming from. And now it's kind of like it's meshed.
and the scale of it, it's just absolutely exploded.
They showed the number, it was 8 something, maybe 3 something $billion industry of criminal activity. That's a shame.
I know you didn't ask the question, but given the spirit of why we're here, I just want to point out a lot of law enforcement seem to not understand the financial aspects as much, which is part of why we get people to come to these conventions. And the thing is, people think that it's just white collar crime, it's just stealing a little bit of money, but you know, these types of crimes fund violent crimes, and they fund a lot of really bad stuff. And you know, yes, it's not a violent crime happening in the banks or whatever, but for the families that it affects, it can be very violent in a different kind of way. And as I said, it's fueling a lot of things that people don't think of when they're like, well, it's just a check fraud. You know, financial crime matters.
I'm glad you touched on that. You're absolutely right, because coming from a law enforcement background, I do kind of zone in more on violence, especially physical violence, and crime is slowly getting away from being more physical, or it's being more online. It's digital now, where you're being cyberbullied, all the different frauds and all the different AIs. And you're absolutely right, where it is financial crimes. And when I first started, you said, I'm gonna do financial crimes, I just said, that's boring, I don't want anything to do with it, leave that to the accountants and bankers and nerds. That's not what I'm about. But you're absolutely right, that it does fund all the other chaos and hell that other people are going through.
Absolutely. And you know, some of the speakers that we've heard today have also talked about, you know, you follow the money and you might find your bad guys. So even if the financial aspect isn't your cup of tea, it can be a very useful path to follow.
Yeah, you said that with a little attitude. I wasn't trying to throw shade. I was just younger in my career, but I see the benefits of it now, I really do. And you hit the nail on the head. And so through the course of conversation, let's just say in a perfect world, in about 3 to 5 years, where do you see yourself in this aspect, as far as either Keystone Connection, banking, fraud, investigations? In a perfect world, what do you see yourself, and what would you like to be doing?
I love the fraud space. I think it's absolutely fascinating, and I love having the opportunity to make a difference. I don't know exactly which path that will take me. You know, a lot can happen in 5 years. A lot's happened for me in the past 5 years. But I know I will be still in this space, because it's something I truly believe in, and I learn something all the time.
Right. Thank you. So the course of conversation, again, one more question. I'm not going to hold you anymore after this. Is there anything that I forgot to ask, or anything else that you would like to touch on, or is there any bit of advice that you would like to share with the world right now? The floor is yours.
Oh man, no pressure.
So the video cut right there. So that was a brief pause. We're going to finish up. It's just one more question. I'll let Liz wrap up right here momentarily. But I mean, it's a great interview. It's a good intro and aspect on the other sides of banking, the other sides of fraud investigations, where things are going, how individuals are getting into certain roles and perspectives. But I'm not going to interrupt any further. I'm going to let Liz finish up the interview.
I would tell them to trust themselves and to be curious. The world is an endlessly fascinating place, and you can learn an awful lot about an awful lot by following the money, and trusting yourself when something doesn't feel right.
Perfect. That was a wonderful answer. Thank you for donating your time and sharing your experiences. I appreciate everything. Thank you very much. Good interview. Thanks, Liz, for coming on the show. I appreciate it. I told you do a great job. I hope you enjoyed the interview. And those watching, clearing off some of the screen here on the dashboard. Those watching, I hope you learned something right there, okay? Because we're going to keep moving on. We're going to transition. Also, at the same conference, the same Keystone conference, I got to meet another guy who works for Bank of America. and he does a different style of fraud investigations, and he give his perspective, what got him into it, things to look out for, position that he holds. We got to talk a lot actually during the actual conference itself, and it's nice seeing it from a different point of view. Again, I'm trying to give different perspectives, different viewpoints when we're all trying to fight the same battle. So stand by. And I know it'll be, I got to get everything queued up. So bear with me here. We'll get it going. All right. Got the videos queued up. We're back. Yeah, we got the videos queued up. Okay. This conference was done at a golf course. I was able to get a lot of the background noise edited out. I did make mention of that. That there was a lot of background noise, and some of the clips that were edited out, there were people walking around in the background, and it was after the actual conference was going on, so you could kind of understand people were having a little fun. They were out playing golf, they were out being loud, enjoying themselves. But I mean, no fault to them, and they didn't know an interview was going on, but some of the stuff didn't need to make the interview. So therefore, it's a beautiful background, as you can see, and there might be some clips that may have jumped ahead a few. I'll notice them. You guys probably won't even notice them. But again, we got Bob Spector, coming on here again from Bank of America, explaining to us his training and experience being a fraud investigator through his agency. And here we go. Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode. We're sitting here with my guy, Robert. We just met here at this conference right here. Robert, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Absolutely. Again, a pleasure to be here and speaking with you. My name is Robert Spector. I go by Bob. I work for Bank of America in Delaware, which is the operations area. I work in client protection, which entails fraud detection. And this is why I'm also here at the Keystone Connections Financial Crimes Conference.
Gotcha.
Sponsored by IASCI.
Gotcha. And is this your first time coming to this conference?
I've been to other conferences that are sponsored by IASCI, but this is the first Keystone connection that entails more than one chapter.
Gotcha. And while sitting through, are you enjoying yourself through this conference itself?
Absolutely, yes. Initially, I came here with the hopes and prospects of networking with other like-minded individuals, both in the law enforcement and the financial services community, to kind of rub elbows and get information on what we do and how to protect our company's assets, how to protect our customers that we deal with every day. And the bonus is meeting fantastic people like you and other people I've met so far at the conference, and I feel honored and blessed so far.
Wonderful. Thank you. It's been a pleasure to meet you as well and sit and we got to rub elbows and during our off script, there was a thunderstorm yesterday where we were all going to sit outside and lightning struck. It looked like it blew up in my face, honestly. And then we all had to come inside, and that's how we officially met, where you said you can have a seat right here, the booth that you had, and we talked pretty much the entire night since then.
Yeah, it turns out that we have things in common. We both like cigars and fishing, and if it's okay, I can say that you're a Freemason, as well as me. I hold that near and dear to my heart. Freemasonry makes good men better.
Absolutely, you're not lying about that. Yes, and there you go. See, it's a small world, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why I love coming to these things, because you never know who you're going to meet and what experiences you're going to have. And so back to the Keystone Connection Conference itself, we had a bunch of tremendous speakers with a lot of wonderful information. Let me ask you, before you decided to start coming to conferences like this one or any one similar to it, what got you into the world of fraud itself?
Just a long time ago, I worked in the industry of loss prevention and protection. And I guess when technology was catching up with the financial industry, I was finding that there was a bad element out there that was trying to leverage the bank's assets. I wanted to make sure that where I did my banking, my assets, whatever little or much I had, is protected.
Yeah.
And then I realized, and I went to school for criminal justice, and it kind of gave me a segue into different aspects of that I actually wanted to be a policeman forever. A couple police tests, found out that maybe that wasn't the right path at the moment. So I wanted still to do something that would satisfy my passion for helping people. And this is why I chose this path.
Gotcha. I mean, the gift of service is something else. And so the Bible says good things about it, and I don't want to quote the Bible because I'll probably misquote it, so I probably shouldn't have brought it up. But being of service to someone else is honorable, that in itself, because you're actually helping those. You learn how to network, you learn how to figure out pieces of the puzzle to not only help yourself, but to help others who haven't learned that. And it gives you a sense of pride to actually give something back to any kind of victim, whether it's financial crime, physical crime, some sort of trauma, things along those lines. Yes, absolutely. And so therefore, being here at the Keystone Conference, I don't want to ask that question. That's I don't want to throw anybody out there like that. What have you learned that kind of was near and dear to you throughout?
That everyone here is trying to have that common goal, and to gain more knowledge about their profession and their craft, to give information that they feel their peers would be useful to them, that sort of thing. And they're not pushing their agenda on people. They're just giving a gentle push, or a gentle, here, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Maybe this will help you in your quest to make your job better or easier or more efficient, that sort of thing. The fact that we network with law enforcement on the local, state, federal, and international level at these conferences, and the law enforcement community is also relying on us in the financial services industry to garner information that they may need on an existing investigation. And maybe we're doing the same thing and not you don't even know. This is the perfect vessel to do it.
Yes, I agree. Networking in itself is one thing, but then it's funny how all the speakers or what I can remember from all the speakers, and somewhere in their speech or their presentation, I should say, they've all said communication, information sharing. We're all in the state of Pennsylvania or nearby. We're all in a certain hub. And being in that certain hub, if we share information, we're probably going to learn about a lot of the same people that we're all dealing with, and we could actually do more damage to them instead of letting them win. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, this is the first conference. First of all, it's a beautiful location in State College.
Yeah.
This Wyndham Garden State College, a former it's a golf course and a resort and a meeting place, and they're very accommodating, and this is the perfect venue for specifically what we need.
Yes. So let me ask you this: in a perfect world, in about 3 to 5 years, where do you see yourself as far as in fraud or investigations, or where would you like to see either this conference or yourself with your agency moving forward to be more beneficial?
Well, for me personally, in 3 to 5 years, I'd like to be retired, but because I'm passionate about what I do, I want to continue working until it's no longer feasible. That sort of thing. I want to provide for my family. I want to give them the best life. They're very supportive as to what I do. But regarding your question, in 3 to 5 years, I want to be able to make sure, if I'm still working at Bank of America, that we're embracing the tools and resources that are available to us through technology, through AI. That's how I say it. To help in our fight for against fraud. I think that's everyone's wish here at this conference.
I agree there. What are your favorite kind of cases to work at when you do investigation? Where does your passion come from? Forever
I did external deposit fraud. The financial crimes that I had passion for was forgery and counterfeit investigation with bad checks, counterfeit or alter. I'm a very physical, hands-on person. I like to be able to feel and see the document or see the instrument or the item that's presented, and know that it's either it's either real or it's counterfeit, and some are really, really good. You know, the perpetrators can put out a really good, convincing item, and then others just go through the motions. So you can tell. It's kind of humorous when you see a counterfeit check that's really bad, and then you also have that feeling of angst when you see a counterfeit item that looks and feels like the real thing.
Yeah.
So you're onto something. So you want to make sure that you have the tools and resources available to detect it and prevent it from impacting our customer.
So how do you believe or think that we can be more impactful to our customer, our client, our victim, whatever words you want to use to fill in the blank?
Communication is a two-way street. Not to be cliche. We need to be mindful of what the customer is telling us about what their fears are regarding if they were already compromised, right? To make sure it doesn't happen again. We want to make sure that we're leveraging education that we're getting through our employer. If we have the availability of taking classes or having experience in a product that we are not used to, right? To be more well-rounded, I think it was what I'm looking for. That way, we'll have all the ammunition necessary to combat fraud.
Gotcha. Good answer. It makes perfect sense. And you're right. So therefore, you've given tremendous answers. Let me ask you this: we've been talking about AI all day, and it seems like that we're behind the power curve when we're supposed to be bringing justice to our customers, our victims, fill in the blank what they may be for each agency. How do you think we can catch up, fast forward, or do a better job now that AI is taken over, and different fraud crimes, abuse crimes, elder abuse, child abuse, domestics are now starting to fuse into be more AI. Digital? Yes.
Right. So the answer to the question is we need to be able to shift our focus to be more AI proficient, right? Because some of the perpetrators, some of the bad guys out there, they're already leaps and bounds ahead of smart. They're smart and they're conscientious. Okay. Especially, and you're talking specifically about CSAM and those types of crimes. The last thing on earth that these perpetrators want to do is get caught. So they're going to be very forthright in trying to conceal their identity by any means necessary, electronic or otherwise. So you can be rest assured they're not just any dumb Joe. They're going to be smart. They're going to be educated, unfortunately, and they're going to do their best to keep 3 steps ahead of law enforcement. We need to step our game up.
The one speak I found it shocking about insurance fraud and insurance claims on how generations see certain insurance claims or possible fraud as different. Where if I got into an accident, I'm going to take accountability, and I was driving the car. I meant to turn right. I meant to use my turn signal, but I didn't. And ironically, I pulled into the back of this car that was stopped at whatever the issue is. And now the speaker presented that the younger generation doesn't find fault or find it at all a crime or anything wrong with saying, yeah, I ran into the back of this car, but I'm going to say my little brother was in the back of the car with me because he needs to go to see the doctor too, or he needs to get what kind of insurance payout that they're going to pay. And that's very frightening, because now we're just living in a fraudulent world,
right,
all the way around, and it's considered the norm. So if everything's fraudulent, that means nothing is true, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on?
People will become a little complacent regarding maybe to be a little more vigilant with protecting themselves. Specifically the insurance fraud activity. You hear the stories about people purposely rear-ending somebody and getting out of the car with and automatically laying blame, especially if the victim is an older person and they're going to scared to speak up, and they're going to just have the person take their but so again, it goes back to education. It goes back to being well informed. You know, I'm over 50. I'm over 60. So I'm a member of A. Okay, and they have work and classes and online forums to keep our senior citizens protected and informed. You know, you don't have to be a rocket science to go on a computer to get their content. It's very easy and user friendly. So why can't, you know, or the Attorney General does a senior citizen that does. So I think every state should have sort of a veiled education process. So, you know, we're not going to be there we want to be there 24/7, either in the financial industry or law enforcement, to protect victims from financial crime. But when we're not here, either on the financial services side or law enforcement side, we need to give our customers or our lay people the same information to keep themselves protected.
Yeah. Good answer. Thank you. Very thorough. We're at the reserve. There's a lot of going on, but we're having a good interview. I'm just going to ask one more question right here. As far as we had a great conversation, and I may have forgotten to ask a question, or I may have jogged your memory on something that you wanted to say. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us right now? The floor is yours.
No, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to let me let me approach this and let you know thoughts and how I feel and what my passion is, and the opportunity that really a good opportunity to be at to rub elbows, to meet new people, nice people, and to get an education again too. Maybe there's some things that I can take away from meeting. You know, there's still another half of tomorrow. More weekers, so I'm buckling up. I'm ready for that.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next segment of the show. I appreciate it. And we're back. I had to make sure that that we're back on. Thank you, Bob, for that, for coming on the show and explaining all that great information and letting us know a little bit about you and your background. It's wonderful information. I'm glad that we got to meet. I'm glad we got to connect. It was a wonderful time at the convention. And we had a good time at the conference. We were at the golf course. You can see people walking in the background behind us. I did have to edit a couple things out. So therefore, the editing is what made it skip a little bit. So I apologize for that. However, we had edited some of the background noise out because there was a lot of background noise, but it's still good information. All right. And welcome back. I'm glad you guys are still here. We're going to be transitioning from fraud to actual, child wellness, child care, information on keeping the children safe. And it's all going to come together. The whole show is going to be one hodgepodge, but it all makes sense as it comes together, and you'll see. You know, we're talking about child welfare. We're going to be talking about the mental health and wellness on child welfare and things like that. And individual who we got to connect also through work very professionally. She's working on her own project. I got to bring her on the show and interview her. It's going to be a two-part interview, and I hope you guys enjoy it. It's going to be a lot of good information. So therefore, I'm going to just go ahead and digress so I can bring her to the stage. Amy Bitner. I'm going to hear their videos queued up. Amy Bitner, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to learn a little bit about her. We're going to learn a little bit about some of the things that she's doing, some of the things in her past, some of the things that she's looking forward to working on, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to bring her to the stage. Thank you for making yourself available to come on the show.
And ladies and gentlemen, I know I'm not on screen, but I have a special guest for you, and I'm glad that she's here. I just got done doing an interview with her on her behalf. And now it's my turn to actually put her in the hot seat. So Amy, can you tell us a little bit about who you are?
So my name is Amy. I have worked for 20 years in juvenile justice for a neighboring county. I was able to retire from that job and recently took a position about 2.5 years ago working in a CAC for child investigations for children and families who have been through traumatic events, through child investigations, abuse, witness to violence.
Gotcha.
Yes.
And so, for those who are watching, some may be aware, know exactly what a CAC is, and others may not. Can you explain? Just you touched on it a little bit, but can you explain exactly the benefits of, or the purpose and the benefits for having a CAC or the CAC position in itself? I guess I should say.
Yeah. So the CAC model started in the 90s, where there were a lot of abuse investigations, and they were finding that children were having to be interviewed by multiple members of different agencies. Now we refer to them as multidisciplinary teams. So there are 7 of the multidisciplinary teams. So you have law enforcement, children and youth, the district attorney's office, there's a medical component, forensic interviewers, victim advocates, and mental health. I think that is all of that I am sharing. But prior to the CAC movement, a child and family might be interviewed by 7 different multidisciplinary teams at different times. So the point of the CAC is to provide that neutral space for children to come in together and investigators to collaborate and do a more comprehensive model of investigation. So when they go to a CAC, the child will be interviewed by someone who is called a forensic interviewer and who go through extensive training to learn that process of being interviewed, at which time the different agencies are observing them. So that could be law enforcement, children and youth, and a representative from the district attorney's office. That is recorded and can be used later as evidence in criminal prosecutions. So through the CAC, they're also given the opportunity. Some CAC, they're a little bit different models. The CAC I'm familiar with has a medical component within the CAC. So there is a medical director and nurse practitioners who are able to do exams. We also have a SANE nurse who can collect evidence if needed. So they'll have their comprehensive medical. And the point is typically not evidence collection. Sometimes those allegations come out years after the fact. So it's mostly just to let children know and let families know that your body is normal and healthy, and no one is going to know that this happened to you unless you share that information with somebody. Even in our most significant traumatic cases, there's usually not evidence of that happening. The body is very resilient. And then in our center, we're kind of a unicorn. We have a mental health component. So we have mental health service coordinators who are meeting with the family during the time the child is being interviewed, getting a biopsychosocial background. Medical is getting that medical background, and then able to provide resources to that family ongoing throughout the investigation. And we try to do a warm handoff with victim advocacy groups. The YWCA is a huge one in this area, and Office of Victim Witness can help through the criminal prosecution process. So it's more of a comprehensive approach to child abuse investigations. What we have found in the research is that investigations that go through a CAC are more likely to end in a prosecution versus the original model where there's various different interviews and whatnot. So although that's not the intent of a CAC, it's definitely one of the benefits. Also, another benefit is just that holistic approach, approaching the whole family, making sure that everybody is getting the services they need. The CAC that I work for also has trauma therapists on site that can see families. That is all grant funded. Nothing is going through insurance. We do try to eliminate some of the barriers that keep people from coming to a CAC. Although our hours are not always accessible for some families. You know, we're working 8 to 4:30 typically. Some people need that in the evenings. Is it a matter of, am I going to miss work today and miss a paycheck today versus taking my child? But the agencies work together. Sometimes CYS can transport a child, sometimes a family member. We do offer ride shares to and from, and that's for the appointment, also for therapeutic services and whatnot. We're also able sometimes to provide food boxes and resources to food banks locally, also hygiene products when families need it. We do see a lot of teenagers, so when they talk to our medical professionals, sometimes they're asking questions that have nothing to do with the reason that they're there in the first place. So they can ask questions about healthy relationships, some safe sex education, providing birth control, condoms, those things. So we try to be a one-stop shop and meet that family where they're at. Make sure that they're getting the support and services that they need through the CAC.
Beautiful. That was a great answer and a great summary. Thank you for you touched on all the points right there. I appreciate that. And like you stole the words from me. It sounds like it's a one-stop shop, and it's good to be that way. It's very convenient. I know while I'm learning the process of doing the investigation, like we talked about before, for child abuse and things along those lines, and coming from the patrol mindset, it's get all the information that you can right there on the scene. If you get an allegation like this, we were taught to get as much information, to get as much evidence, to interview, get written statements as much as you can on the scene. And it's for me, it took a while for me to get out of that routine and learn how to just get minimum facts and actually set the stage up for having the forensic interviewers do their thing. And having that set up like that is worked wonders for me, just because of the comfortability of the juvenile, the child, whatever the offense may be. It's in a more comfortable setting. It's not having someone in uniform standing over you, probably looking for the next call or coming from another bad call, or just not being able to have good rapport or connecting with the child well.
Right. And I think there is still some buy-in needed from different NDT as far as, because in your training, I'm sure you're told, get all the information you can, the who, what, when, where, why. And for children, we look at the disclosure as a process and not an event. So we do a lot of education too, as far as being trauma informed and child centered. You know, we try to dispel some of the misrepresentation of a sexual abuse allegation, and also with, you know, small children who definitely don't know time frames and whatnot. And also some of that stigma that comes with it, like, what were you doing? Were you intoxicated? Those are the type of questions we're trying to avoid, which allows a forensic interviewer to go in and ask them age-appropriate questions. But also, sometimes we see law enforcement say, like, hey, well, they added here or they changed the story here. And if you think about trauma and even some of the events that you've never been through, when you are out of your frame of tolerance, your window of tolerance, sometimes you're remembering things, but you're not remembering it in a linear fashion. So it's not this happened and then this happened. Sometimes you're remembering the end, but then you're remembering an antecedent, like, oh, but I had met this guy online. We're seeing an increase in online crimes occurring, you know, in chat rooms, Snapchat, even video gaming. But, you know, we really try to educate our NDT as far as what trauma looks like and how that process happens. And again, it's not, this is where we met and then it went. It's usually here and here. They're like, is that a change of the narrative, or is it just adding to it because you're remembering different things? Again, not being in that window of tolerance where those things are happening. Also, trying to match a child with, we have mostly female interviewers, but sometimes kids are more apt to talk to a male interviewer, so we offer that as well. You know, trying to meet that preference. Absolutely. So we try to take a lot of things into consideration, but it has seemed to be like a more seamless process.
Gotcha. Thank you for that explanation as well. Let me ask, from your training and experience dealing with trauma and children, and things along those lines, has there been any success stories that you've got to witness, or has there been, why I ask this, because I've seen children grow up that I've dealt with as with law enforcement officer, then they come back as an adult and sometimes they're unrecognizable. I don't even remember who they are, and they're saying, Officer Tillman, such and such, you remember this, you did this, and you said something to me, or you helped me through this process, and now because of that, I went to school, I graduated, whatever the success story is. Have you had any success stories that you can share with us?
Yeah, so success looks so different in all the different careers that I've been in. But when we look at the CAC, we're looking at the justice process and also healing process. So it's two processes happening simultaneously. We start our mornings with a online virtual huddle where everybody is working, talks about wins for the day. Sometimes those wins come in the form of an alleged perpetrator who finally went to trial, and there's been success in the justice system as far as either a plea or being found guilty of something, especially when we see an alleged perpetrator's name over and over again in our investigations, or stories that are in the news, and you finally have a prosecution and a conviction. What I love about our morning huddles and our wins are therapists who see, because the therapists that we have on site only see clients who come through the CHC. So they'll talk about, a child who came into therapy who did not want to talk about what was happening, didn't want to use the correct anatomical names for parts and things. But when they start their trauma therapy and they get to their narrative practice, they're starting to talk about it and starting to process that and start to feel better. And they're like, oh my gosh, like 6 months ago, I wasn't even able to say this out loud. And here I am sharing everything that happened with less trauma response. I'm having better relationships with my parents, having better success in school. So I think those are the wins that we like to see. So they are few and far between, but they mean the most.
They're worth it though. Yeah. It's the small wins or the smaller victories are the ones that you kind of get the digs in the heart and make you feel like it's all worth it.
Yeah. And for families too, like, sometimes when a family, a caregiver comes into the CAC, they're like, you're just another person within the system. Like I've told several people about this. Why should I trust you? And we come in, meeting them where they're at, giving them the resources, letting them know, like, we're here for you too. So we've had moms come in who are very hesitant to talk to us, get us information. And by the end of the CAC, they're feeling better, at least voicing that. And then their child is in therapy. They see the improvements in their child's behavior and communication. And they're thanking us, and I'm like, we were just here for that one day for you to come to the CAC. You have been doing the hard work. You were the supportive parents. So getting a lot of affirmation to parents who are sticking through it and doing that hard work and not taking it personal, but also knowing that somebody is listening to them and understanding how difficult that must be. Because we have parents come in with all kinds of guilt, like I didn't keep my child's name. So we talk about all the dynamics of abusers and the grooming process and all of the sneaky things that perpetrators do to get access to children. So educating parents too on like this is not your fault. These people are very good at what they're doing and getting away with it a lot of times. But seeing the family improving, and we don't do this job for a thank you, but when we do get that, it definitely means a lot.
Thank you. And let me get it set up here. We're going to move to part 2 of that interview. Good job, Amy. And the reason I have to break it up like that, for those of you, did you see how the editing and the sound and the lips don't match up all the time? So you got to break it up so it kind of flows better. So we'll go to part 2, and we'll get it queued up right now. Here we go. The last segment, you talked about some of the successes and some of the wins that you've seen dealing with families and juveniles and things like that. Are there some other traumatic stories where it was just so bad that I shouldn't word it that way? I'm sorry. Has there been something that you've seen that just sticks out in your mind that has been so traumatic for yourself, and how did you have to deal with it as well?
Yeah, I think the cases where the children are really young, and then, we can see kids which child as young as 2. Some 2-year-olds are very articulate, but 3 and 4 is usually that sweet spot as far as the youngest. But when like a 3 and 4-year-old doesn't know the context of sexual abuse. So when they're saying specific things that they're doing, and again, I'm not doing the forensic interview. Our forensic interviewers are amazing as far as hearing those details. And I'm sure that is a process in itself, because I don't necessarily hear all of the details. I've only ever watched one forensic interviewer in my training, but having to sit in on that. But those little ones who don't have the context of what is happening to them, and you know something happened based on not having any of that context and what grown-ups are doing, and they're giving names and locations. But when that's not enough evidence for a prosecution, I think those are the hardest ones. Especially being a mother myself, and putting yourself, I find like the empathy part is always putting myself in somebody else's shoes and feeling how devastating that can be, knowing that something's awful. And again, that's where we have to go into mental health mode and say, like, this doesn't have to define you or your child. There are things that you can do and things that we can do for you is to help the healing. Sure. I will say a success case that I've recently come across, and there was a case about 9 years ago. The girl was 3 or 4. Not enough information for a prosecution, and it sounds like at the time the caregiver, there was a domestic violence situation, so the caregiver was very much dependent upon the alleged perpetrator at that time, so less than helpful throughout the investigation process. That young lady has since gone through therapy. She's a young teen. Through her therapy, she's come up with the words and articulated it, and that prosecution was able to be reopened.
Okay.
And I've seen the victim advocate from 9 years ago and the detective from 9 years ago were able to reconvene on that case, and I know that that is a rarity. But I feel like that's the way it's supposed to go. Like, if you're not able to do it because of the age and a lack of evidence or a lack of ability to go to trial for whatever reason, and the caregiver isn't supportive, but being able to come back when the child is ready, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I think one of the things that I struggle with is not necessarily with the district attorneys, but I know it's a struggle for attorneys. Like, this is not going to be enough for a prosecution. Do we want to put a child on the stand and be interviewed by a defense attorney who's going to tear this up,
Eat him alive,
and not get? Do we want to put a child through that? And that has to be, like, coming from the district attorney's perspective, that has to be a really difficult thing to deal with as well.
It's difficult from a law enforcement perspective as well. Me being in, like I said, a novice with referrals, child abuse referrals or child lines and things like that. To actually hear some of the allegations and get both sides and doing the interviews and actually taking it and finding that it's very surface level, and there's no way to get more information or more evidence, at least from our investigative skills at this point in time, and then to have to table it or close it out when you know there possibly could be more. And you, as a law enforcement professional, you sit back and think, did I do enough? Did I ask the right questions? Did I go deep enough? And then you want to go get justice for the person, the individual involved that's been wronged, but then you want to come with a side of the case as well, because you only get one shot at it. And if you fumble the case, then that'll be 2 injustices. The victim will be victimized twice and will not be able to get any kind of justice unless something else happens, and that's what we're trying to prevent and avoid. So it's frustrating that way as well. You kind of walking in blindly and trying to put the pieces together. You want to put the piece the best way you can for that person, and not knowing the full situation and learning the situation as you're doing the investigation.
It's hard work.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But it's necessary. It's with all the trauma in the world, with all the injustices, especially like we were talking about online with Roblox. One of my first cases was a teenage male who was athlete on Instagram, was flirting with a female, or so he thought, and then they were sexting each other. And then after that, once he sent his picture of him naked, that he was held ransom for, and so he was sending gift cards and other money until he ran out of his money, and he had to go borrow money from his mother, and that's what started the problem. What do you need this money for? Where's this going? What's going on? And then he had to tell mom what was going on, where he was being scammed, because he didn't want to be embarrassed and have this scammer send a picture to his entire team and his school and be embarrassed that way. I'm like, wow.
Absolutely. And we've seen several cases like that, and there's one that sticks out specifically to me. It was an Asian family, and pride and having your parents be proud of you is such a part of that culture, which is why we see such high amounts of suicide attempts when that happens with exploitation cases. So I think it's so important that, and I don't know if law enforcement is doing this or not. I know we would love to do more of this. There's not always time and resources, but going into schools and saying, if this does happen to you, like usually somebody who's extorting, like a teenager, they know they're not going to get a lot of money. So on their end, they're like, I'm just going to move on to the next one. But on the child's end, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to them. They're risking humiliation and embarrassment among friends, but add that to a family who's very much about pride and making your family proud, and those feelings of now I have to end my life. Like that education is so necessary, and prevention education for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just gave me an idea, honestly. We're going to talk about
Oh, yeah, but cultural humility is so important in both our businesses. Like, again, meeting families where they're at and understanding that cultural component as well. I know you'd interviewed your one colleague from Nepal, and just the difference in arrests for DUIs and the different stance on domestic violence. Like, that's so important when we're going into these cases and having that knowing going in.
It is. It's very important that the rapport building and the prior knowledge is amazing. Instead of coming in, like I said, blindly or just kind of piecing it together, like you reference Pima's interview, and he was talking as in when he was able to talk to his elderly person in his native language. We thought that the family was moving away from her, she was going to be homeless. When he explained, no, you're moving out of the apartment, you're moving into the house, but they can't get out of the apartment because you refused to come out of the room, and explain it to her. And when she understood, she felt relieved. She gave up no more problems. She even praised him on being a police officer for the department. And we're thinking like, yeah, woman, you're about to get evicted, like it's time to go. And she was refusing, and now it could have turned into hands-on, it could have turned into a trespassing. I'm thinking larger, but something from just a misunderstanding and communication.
Yes, communication is key in both jobs, and all of them. You see communication so important with our families, with our forensic interviewers, with the medical providers, with the DI, with the families most importantly. And just, what are your preconceived notions coming in? What are you worried about? Like, we are here for you, and them kind of always knowing that. And again, having families who've had bad experiences with the different agencies and letting them know, like, we are the neutral space for you to come. They don't always trust that, but we hope that we are showing that and demonstrating that in how we conduct business.
Gotcha. Thank you. So let me ask one final question here. I don't want to monopolize your time too much. I appreciate everything that you've done today. In a perfect world, in about 3 to 5 years, what would you think your end game goal would be for yourself in dealing with any kind of child advocacy or any way of helping society or helping the public? Where do you see yourself? What do you see yourself contributing to and making a change, or being the cog in a wheel for a better society?
Well, what a minimal question to have. Resources. We always need resources. We are always looking to donations of hygiene products, cosmetic products, resources. If we had an unlimited budget, a lot of families that we see don't have insurance or are between jobs. If we could make sure everybody who wanted services was able to get them. If we could be a one-stop shop too and have victim advocate, and there are CACs that have everybody under the same roof, that would be amazing. So if you need victim advocacy, we're going to show you how to fill out a SNAP application, how to get a PFA, how to talk to the district attorney's office about what the family wants, because sometimes prosecution is not what they're looking for. They just want whatever happened for somebody to be accountable. So if we could just, and I think prevention is so important. It just seems like these crimes are getting more sophisticated, and we are trying to get ahead of them. And I know you have, task forces that look into child sexual abuse materials and exploitation materials, but it seems like they're always a step ahead. But with an unlimited budget and resources, like, what could we do technology-wise? I know AI gets a bad rap, but what could we do with AI to get ahead of these, or have somebody that can go out, find the IP address, and get the bad guys? Yeah, I think more prosecutions, just more accountability, prevention, and education. I think a lot of times abuse happens in our minoritized and marginalized families who don't have resources, but also that cultural humility piece of, was this discipline? Did it go too far? Absolutely. What can we deter them from going into the criminal justice system? Because we do see a lot of families that want to remain intact, but I guess in the short, the answer is meeting the family where they're at, asking them what it is that they want to see as the outcome, and making sure that that happens.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate
You
it.
touched on something real quick. I'm sorry. I know I said but you touched on something as far as AI, and I'm actually going to a training tomorrow, and I'll be gone for most of the week. Where it'll be my second time going to this training. It's Keystone Connections, where they're giving. So there's going to be different speakers. There's going to be up-to-date training on new AI, mainly for frauds. For banks or financial frauds, or I always draw a blank. I'm sorry, I hate that. For identity theft purposes, is what I'm doing. Things like that, but it all is one big circle, because I'm learning about AI. I'm learning about different tools with AI. I actually have fun with it on social media, and I use it for the podcast here. You guys see a lot of the AI as well, but I'm using those apps so I can learn from them. So actually, when I go to the conference, I could be of value, and I can see what the trends are as well. And a lot of the trends that I see are for fraud and for identity theft. They also go with a lot of sexting, or from human trafficking. It's all one big circle for the fraudster, where they know how to develop a humanoid looking person that you believe is real, that you may be on the phone with, that actually can have a conversation with you in real time and answer you in real time, whether it's text or whether it's voice. And you don't know it's a total fake person or a total fake entity, and it's setting you up either for the trafficking yourself, for the money, for whatever they're trying to gain. And there's one agency out there. I interviewed them last year, Pax Rana. I hope you're watching. I hope I get to see you again. But their company, they're the good guys for AI, where they can actually, I know I'm overstepping my knowledge and bounds, but they can actually pinpoint the AI is, what the fraudster's doing, and I believe they're developing a database that collects this information. So therefore, once you have your fraudster and it's identified, then they can be put in that category, and their MO and things like that, break it down into categories, so that way you can track them. That way you can get the prosecution. That way, since we're so behind on the game, it's one small piece of the mountain that we're climbing that kind of leads us into the right direction. And I love these conferences, because last year this time, the AI was very primitive, at least the ones that I was using. The ones I'm using now is advanced, so I can only imagine what the bad guys are using.
Right, absolutely. And one thing to keep in mind, and I was just at, it was supposed to be a comedy show. It was Josh Johnson. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's been on The Daily Show. He does a lot of political commentary, but in his stand-up, he talks about AI and how, I guess, OTs, like us, we see AI as something other than, but AI is all generated from humans and the things that we have done. Like, there's nothing beyond what a human has put into the internet and all of our systems. So it's not something that we can get ahead of, but there are smart people who are generating this stuff too. So I'd love to hear that there's good guys in it. But it's scary to OGs to think, oh, this is something I don't even know what it is, but it's all human generated. It's all human knowledge, and education is so important. Yes. And I feel like if we're going to get ahead of it, we have to.
We'll catch up, and then they'll pivot. Bad guys will pivot, and we'll catch up again. No, it's the nature of the beast.
Right. Yeah, just advancement and tech, and see what happens.
I'm interested in seeing the new developments, and seeing how it's going to transcend, and how it'll catapult us forward. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too.
Well, Amy, I appreciate your time and coming on the show. Is there anything else that I may have forgot to ask you, or anything that you wanted to touch on before we wrap up?
No, I think we talked about so much, but I'm happy to come back again and share.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank
Well, thank you for coming on the show, and ladies and gentlemen, we will continue on with the rest of the show, so we will see you later. Happy good on.
Back up, minimize the screen. Thank you, Amy Bitner, for coming on the show. That was a great interview. I know it's been in the works for a while. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. Everything that you've done, all the acknowledgments, all the understanding, all the sharing of content. I appreciate it. And coming on the show and educating us and giving us some background and showing the importance of child welfare and CACs. And for those who don't really know what they are or the importance of them or what comes with it, it's explained, and it can go a little deeper. I understand it's kind of a surface level explanation, but it's very important. Shows some success stories, and then of course, we talk about the AI and that conference that I went to. It was Keystone Connection that was mentioned earlier. A lot of good information came from there. And AI, of course, is if you follow my other pages, LinkedIn is a little bit more formal, as it should be. But I have the AI cartoons, like I said before, Xavier Rose on the Facebook page. I have fun on Facebook. If you want to come chop it up and cut up, it's the Facebook page, Clark Tent, that has the Sergeant Be Safe. I have the stories on there. I have Xavier Rose's stories. It's also on YouTube under Black and Blue. Got the videos. Got the music videos, but we also do the freaking weekend every Friday. Every Friday, I try and post it at noon for a coworker, and we have a little 30-second clip of just AI and the two of us having some sort of fun. But again, thank you, Amy, for coming on the show. We're going to actually transition into an AI video, AI short. This one's a short of futuristic looking Sergeant Be Safe. Had a little fun with this. Thought I'd add it to the show just to kind of get your viewpoints, just to kind of show a little bit of entertainment here. And let me know what you think. All right. This is a Sergeant Be Safe futuristic. Treacherous Tony's in this one. And so is Officer Stiletto. And then we'll transition into the actual cartoon of the Sergeant Be Safe that's fitting for this podumentary because it ties both the child welfare and the fraud together. And it'll make sense here in a minute. Here we go.
Safe Streets is live. Time to clean up this city. Just a little taste of the good stuff, and you'll be hooked.
I've got eyes on the dealer. Sending coordinates now.
Not on my watch, Tony. The party's over.
No, I was so close.
Another day, another victory. Stay safe out there, folks.
And that's the futuristic Sergeant Be Safe. No, it needs a little work, but it's a little fun to do. Something, a small short, use a different app of the same concept. So get that out of there. And like I said, we're going to move on to the other Sergeant Be Safe, the actual one. This video is going to be a fun one. It's got a little bit of action now because with the AI, I can incorporate a little bit more movement so it's not as stiff. We're evolving. We're building the plane as we fly it, like I like to say. It's going to continue on. But, Sergeant Be Safe, the charismatic cartoon cop coming through with the explanation is going to tie all this together, and we're going to continue on with this podcast, all right? Let me know what you guys think. Tag, like, share, and subscribe. Sergeant Be Safe also has his own YouTube channel. It's called Sergeant Be Safe, of course. So if you haven't already checked that out, please do. Please do. All right, here we go.
Here comes another episode of Sergeant Be
Safe.
Crime never stops. Sergeant Be Safe, SWAT Officer Clay Moore, Officer Stella Stiletto, and their boss, Major Payne, are reviewing cases. Well, Clay Moore is getting a workout in a world where selfies reign supreme. Our heroes tackle the dark side of fame, identity theft. Meet Rob U. Blind, the villain stealing influencers' lives, and his tech-savvy sidekick, Chance Wilder. Chance Wilder is setting up the scam, and Rob U. Blind is executing it. The 911 calls start coming in, and Sergeant Be Safe and the crew are already behind trying to catch up.
Multiple reports of a disturbance at Main Street. Request backup. Domino. Possible found the 5 in a Dudley.
Rob and Wild Chance ran the scam over and over again and frauded innocent victims out of digital currency. They got so good, the money kept rolling in. So how does it affect the victims, the kids in school? Their teacher tries to educate them. However, Rob U. Blind's influence is too powerful. He He already has a stronghold on Lil Porter here. As he thinks he's playing an innocent game, he's actually sending Bitcoin and gift cards that he's stealing from his parents to these criminals. And since the criminals are successful, they continue to scam and hold him hostage.
If you know my secrets and success, it's simple. Just follow my lead, and you'll be living the dream.
Wow.
Officer Stiletto finally catches a break. She's able to zero in and locate the criminals.
Sergeant, be safe. I found them. Let's go get them.
Good job. Stay here and monitor the computer. I'll take SWAT Officer Claymore with me.
Understood, sir.
They head out and travel fast with lights and sirens on to go to the criminals' hideout. Wild Chance was listening to the scanners. He sent members of his crew to stop them before they made it to the hideout.
Oh no, they made it here. Go get them, guys!
The goons prepare to fight and get their ammo and meet Sergeant Be Safe and SWAT Officer Clay Moore right outside the building. Be Safe makes it inside and takes on a squad by himself.
Give it up, and you're coming with us.
But the bad guys decide to fight instead. Sergeant Be Safe tells them that you're both under arrest. Now put the handcuffs on yourself. All this money is going back to the victims. Be Safe and Clay Moore win the fight and bring the bad guys back to the precinct. Both news anchors are on the 6 o'clock news, celebrating the accomplishments of this wonderful law enforcement crew.
We
are time to protect our
Protect
community.
yourself and educate yourself against scammers. And that's your tip of the day.
Job
to
well
get you on
done.
your way.
Great job, team.
Sergeant Be Safe, boy, I'm telling you, that was a lot of fun to make. With the AI apps, I'm able to make it more fluid, have a little bit more fun with it, but it all brings it together. It's all talking about the fraud. It's all talking about how the kids are so easily influenced with social media, games, and how they access to them by the outside world is very easy and attainable. And they can easily become a victim. So therefore, it's tying in, of course, the frauding, and it's tying in the abuse, of course, that we talked about further. All right. And we're going to move on. As we move on, transition, some things are going to be informational. We're going to talk about the importance of what the juvenile shouldn't be doing, accountability, at home, and where some of the troubles may lie. Think kind of social engineering that's going on currently. I'm gonna give you a forewarning that some of the videos coming up, not right now, but I think when we get into the third one I have prompted here, viewer discretion is going to be advised. It's not going to be, some things are edited out, but just so you know, nothing gory, nothing gloomy is going to be shown, but it is going to get a little serious, okay? And it's going to show the transition of we're going to start off with Sergeant Lacey in his two interviews with Channel 27. Shout out to Channel 27 fair use on their clips on him explaining what is expected for kids in his area, and also what's expected. Of course, we're halfway deep into the summer, but about fake BB guns and water guns, and the importance of them not being used or purchasing ones that actually look very real, and how that could just lead to a bad day. All right. I'm going to let him take it away, and we're going to continue on with this conversation, with this interview, with this Podumentary, and it's gonna hopefully it's entertaining and educational. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section, and they will be addressed. I know this is a recording right now, but they will be addressed.
The meeting, Steelton Police Chief Shawki Lacey stares.
This happens even with the officers on scene. Why are we allowing an opportunity for foolishness to take place? Ain't nothing good going on after midnight.
Yep, my bad. And that's Fox 43. Shout out to them. The next one is Channel 27. Shout out to them as well for this interview. And this interview is very important. I don't normally, I know you get copyright and flagged for putting news interviews on here, but it's important because a lot of parents don't know, a lot of kids don't know those harmless BB guns, Orbeez guns, water guns that look real can have real and serious consequences.
Alicia and Valerie, I spoke with multiple law enforcement officials across the mid-state. They say replica firearms being brandished as real firearms has become a serious issue as of late, which could result in tragic situations that could be avoided altogether.
And the airsoft gun was discovered after the student was searched.
Troopers say the firearm that she was holding was determined to be a BB gun.
I don't want to see a child or any citizen end up losing their life over the misuse of a replica gun.
Steelton Borough Police Chief Shawki Lacey sending a clear message to his community by calling on parents to educate their children on firearm safety following gun confiscations in the double digits.
And unfortunately, it continues to grow.
Lacey tells me that Orbeez gel blasters, as well as powered BB and pellet guns, make up for most of the confiscations. In many instances, they bear shocking resemblance to their real counterparts.
Yep.
And these are all very inexpensive. If you look, $59, $74, and $79. There's essentially no cost barrier to obtain any of these air rifles. Over in Camp Hill, Chief Stephen Marchson says his department has also had to deal with the issue of people brandishing replica firearms as if they were real.
Yep.
It's the danger this can create.
If it resembles in any way an actual firearm, police officers are going to treat it as if it is a firearm, as if this is a deadly force threat against them, and they're going to respond accordingly.
Also in Cumberland County, DA Sean McCormack told me about a police-involved shooting last year. That all started when a woman called the police on herself. When officers arrived, she pulled a gun on them.
We drew what looked like a gun and pointed it at them. We now know it was a BB gun, but one like this, designed to look like a real handgun.
It turned out to be an air pistol, and pointed it at the officers, and the officers responded by shooting to protect themselves.
She did survive. Chief Lacey believes that in order to avoid these horrible incidents, parents must have conversations with their children.
Absolutely. Do you know what your kids are doing? Number one. Number two, accountability starts at home. And three, discipline your kids so others don't have to.
In my discussions with Chief Lacey, Chief Marchson, and DA McCormack, everybody told me if it looks like a gun, don't use it as a toy and don't be reckless. In studio, I'm Harry Murphy, ABC 27 News.
Seems like that would be common sense, but it happens, and therefore we don't want bad things to happen for kids or young adults to be out there enjoying their summer and having a good time, or just being reckless for no reason. Going back, I'm gonna show the transition. Something that's lost art, I believe. A bully, a child who's bullying other children or bullying his parents, actually goes for boxing lessons. And shout out to this guy because he's using non-bully tactics against him. It goes back to the old adage, if you ever heard the story. Actually, you did a little research for the book I'm writing on it. Is I forget the actual title of what it was, but there was a safe grounds or a zoo or something like that that had elephants. Okay, and follow me. The elephants, they had juvenile elephants, they had female elephants. And when the juvenile elephants, the male juvenile elephants started to get to their testosterone peak, they were just knocking over trees. They were causing chaos. They were just making it an unlivable environment. It was just a total nonsense going on. Nothing could get this under control, and it was just going out of pocket. And then they brought in male bull elephants from the wild, and within 15 minutes, they're dominant. The hierarchy was set right back in place. The dominance, the structure was put together because the male bulls were not putting up with the juvenile, testosterone-filled juvenile males just running amok. They actually got them back in together in line, and that goes to show for this next. I'm setting this next video up on a juvenile bully who's bullying his parents, and this is the consequences he gets when they take him to go speak to this gentleman. So shout out to this guy.
This rage that I keep hearing about. You like violence because the shit ain't never happened to you. You like hitting on your mom. Those are women. You ain't never ran into somebody that likes violence just as much as you do. That's the problem. You understand that? But we like violence here. So go in there and get you some because you like it. You ain't not going to try to fight back? Oh, sounds like your parents. Go. You like to put your hands on women. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes, sir. You know what all this means? You full of shit. And we calling your bluff. You got your moms thinking that your meltdowns are uncontrollable. Why you ain't having one right now then? Under all the stress you under right now, snot falling down your nose, getting your ass kicked. He ain't said he want nobody to die yet. You ain't said you're gonna spit in Coach Mike's face yet. You're full of shit. You're not the guy you think you are. Do you think it's wrong to be upset or mad, angry? No, it's not. It's a natural human emotion. Everybody has it. What's wrong is when you take it out on the two most loving people I've ever met in my life. Time. That's a fake about to fall down. Time. Get out the room. Go to the classroom.
Crea un comercial para.
All right, and so therefore a lot of lessons, especially with men. Let me get this off the screen here. A lot of lessons, especially with males. Males are stubborn. Males are hard-headed. Males have to learn the hard way. Sometimes you got to learn physically. You got to have the big dog come in and kind of knock you down a couple steps, and that's how you actually physically learn. You learn through remembrance, and you learn through physical pain. And I'm not saying, I'm just showing that the transition, doing it early, actually has more beneficial consequences as opposed to if it goes unchecked. If the juvenile is able to go through all the steps and then actually become out here as a young adult into an adult and get out here in the world, and then it's expected that law enforcement has to deal with this individual because this individual was just causing chaos or running amok. I'll show a couple. This is going to tie in these next two videos. Privacy, not privacy warning. Prepare yourself. These ones are going to be a little graphic. I can't think of the term. You know what I'm saying. But these next two videos are going to be a little graphic, but it's important because it's going to show, for one, we talked about the importance of why law enforcement officers shoot those that have edge weapons and how quickly they can get out of and become chaos, and two, how unchecked bad behavior leads into destruction and making the news lines, making the headlines negatively. All right, here we go.
That's up. Drop that fucking head.
Just that quick. Watch it again. Watch how quickly.
That's up. Drop that fucking head.
And even so, even with getting a couple shots off point blank, the individual still able to, looks like, get a swing out there with the edge weapon. It just goes to show that how dangerous knives and edge weapons are, and why law enforcement officers do what they do. Here's another video that'll show a different viewpoint of that, and then Sergeant Be Safe will kind of give his breakdowns for that, and that's based on the opinions and the research done by the Crosden Consulting Agency. So I got that one from LinkedIn, but it shows the dynamics of it. Here we go.
Drop the knife! 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 Drop the
knife! Drop the knife down!
Headquarters, any query,
Drop the knife! Tommy, watch out! Drop the knife! Drop the knife now! Tommy, watch out, he's coming in! David! Drop the knife! Drop the knife! Tommy! Tommy, I'm coming in! Tommy, we're ready! Go! I got you, message. 40 shots fired, shots!
And how quickly that evolves, and they were giving commands trying to get distance, and I don't know what happened to the victim in this. Hopefully, hold on. Pause this. Hopefully there was a better outcome than what it looked like, but still, it just shows how quickly things evolve. And then it's kind of tying in a bunch of points all together. No. Body cams only show what's going on in that moment. It doesn't show how many times we've been caught out there. It doesn't show what led up to it. It doesn't show the heightened sentences. Doesn't show any of the discussions before and after. There's a lot of that goes involved as opposed to just that 30-second clip of what it could be. So here's Sergeant Be Safe explaining what the Crosden Consulting Agency has explained as well.
Beyond the lens, the unseen reality of policing body camera footage is often viewed as the definitive account of events, but it only conveys a fragment of the truth. It captures actions, not the emotional turmoil, sensory overload, or the urgency of life and death decisions being made amid chaos. The recent Mother's Day footage from New York starkly highlights that policing doesn't always yield perfect solutions. Instead, it often leads to the least tragic outcomes. The officers involved executed commands and sought to create space, striving to redirect the suspect and minimize the need for lethal force. Yet the situation evolved unpredictably. Many wonder why officers can't just follow a script. The truth is, no manual exists that covers every possible scenario. Each case involves unique variables: the home, the victim, the suspect, and the circumstances. While training, experience, and judgment are crucial, they cannot erase the potential for tragedy. A significant hurdle for law enforcement is the lack of resources for adequate training, which is a stark reality, not an excuse. Even the finest training cannot prepare officers for every possible encounter. Long after the media frenzy fades, the officers involved carry with them the haunting memories, the blood, the cries, the overwhelming sense, and the heavy truth that a family's life will forever be altered. These recollections linger long after the shift is over. Until one has faced such a life-altering moment, it's hard to grasp the profound experiences officers endure. This depth of human experience remains beyond the reach of any body camera. Inspired by Crosden Consulting.
And thank you, Sergeant Be Safe, for that explanation. Those are the only two videos with actual graphic violence on there, and I told you they were pretty low key, kind of compared to other videos that we see on social media. But we're gonna continue moving on. So, showing the transition from unchecked aggression and bullying behavior leading into bad behavior that gets you caught up with the law enforcement officer. And this is a good reason for one, the transition on why law enforcement officers need to stay in shape and stay acute to the surroundings about you, because you never know when someone's going to hit that fight or flight and try and take off and or fight. And if you're ready for it, whichever one it is, you'll be successful. This guy, this next video, I'm actually connected with this guy here on LinkedIn. We spoke a little bit briefly, but other than that, it's good to see what's going on when children become adults and get out here and do nefarious activities. Here we go.
You bet, man. Turn around. Turn around.
There you go. Nice slam. See, the gun gets tossed.
4-3 dispatch, Signal 7 in front of the yellow store. I didn't do anything wrong.
Good job.
I didn't do anything wrong.
3005?
I didn't do anything wrong. Come here, stand up. What did I do? Stand up. Hey, what did I do, bro? What did I do?
4-3 dispatch, I got one detained.
What did I do? Just came from my auntie house, man. Oh, man. What did I do though?
Take a seat, man. Yeah, that's the definition of being an idiot. He was not even gonna go to jail for this until he decided he wanted to fight and do all the extra stuff. So now he's going to jail for it. All right, please stand behind your back, man.
See what I mean? And so therefore, from a law enforcement point of view, let me go ahead and get this off the screen here. From a law enforcement point of view, also those are good. You won the day, won the fight, and being vigilant, like I said before. But years and years of that kind of takes a toll on you as well. Some of us veterans are starting to see that, and there was a study done, and this was interesting. I clipped this in because it shows once you start to reach the level of mental burnout or physical burnout, what the optimum years are for a career in law enforcement. And those, I'll let him explain it. I'm just going to pretty much mess it up, but I'll explain it, and then I'll show the video right after it, what could happen to someone who's near the end of their career. And it's a warranted crash out, if you ask me. I think all seasoned officers have been there, that mindset, and wanting to educate and actually just kind of go off the handle. It's very informative, but you can tell that he even celebrates that he's at the end of his career. But we'll start with this one first.
We're not expected to live that long.
That's right.
Beyond our retirement, because of what we endured while we were working. A lot happens within our bodies that we're not aware of. I actually had an interesting conversation with a friend of mine who's a nurse. We met in the 46th precinct. She was completing nursing school while she was still a cop, and she went on and worked in medical for probably like 16 of her 20 years in the department. We were getting close to that 20-year mark, and she called me. She's like, "Hey, Ellie," she goes, "Hey, how you doing? How you been? Blah, blah, blah." She goes, "Are you staying?" And at that point, I really hadn't rendered a decision that I was definitely leaving at 20 years.
Yeah.
And I said, "I'm really not sure." I said, "What about you?" She's like, "Oh, I'm out." She's like, "I'm done." And then that spiraled into a conversation where she basically, this girl is like one of these real smart girls. She did her own study where she was analyzing the amount of years you spend in the department and how many years you're living post-retirement.
It's like a ratio.
So she said to me, she goes that the people that leave at 20 live substantially longer than those that stay longer. And her cutoff point, her in terms of years serving the department, working the department, I want to say it was around 22. She's like, after 22 years, like your expected lifespan is significantly less than it is if you leave before the completion of your 22nd year.
Wow.
And that really hit home with me. And I said to her, but I feel good, like knock on wood, I'm in a good state of health, like I'm okay. She said, "Ellie," she goes, "I'm sure you are, but make no mistake about it. This job did a lot to you internally that you can't even begin to imagine. You can't see it. There's not a way to diagnose it. Even the amount of hours you spend commuting to and from work has had such a significant impact on your overall being. We're not expected to live that long."
And that's crazy to actually put an actual number on it. I never actually heard a number, but they do say this is a young man's game. And those coming in, I don't want to dissuade you. It is a rewarding and beneficial career. But those that stick on for a long period of time, there are health benefits, psychological, health deterioration, psychological deterioration, things that happen. We see a lot of trauma, we deal with it, but we sign up for it too. So it's not like we're complaining about it, but take care of yourself to the point where you can still have a life after retirement, because we talk about that on this platform also. You don't work this job for 10, 20, 25 years, 30 years to not have a life after the retirement. This guy right here, if you're a law enforcement officer, I guarantee you've probably seen this video. It's a great one. It's a funny one. It's I want to end on a funny one. It's still a crash out, and it shows the crash out of someone who's almost at the end of their career. A citizen comes in and wants to question or wants to police the police. and doesn't know the actual background of what the scenario is going on and ends up getting themselves in trouble. We'll see two different viewpoints. We'll see the viewpoint from inside the car. Then the second video, we'll see the viewpoint from outside the car.
Okay. Hey. Could I just ask you why you're riding their butt like that and speeding, man?
I'm running his license plate because everybody else is speeding. Why are you speeding?
I was only going 60.
Speed limit's 40.
50.
The signs.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Do
All
yourself
right.
a favor. Oh, give me the weed, too.
No, I have a...
yeah,
I have a medical marijuana card.
Step out.
I have a card.
Step out.
All right. Stop, man.
You want to fucking run your mouth? No problem. You came to the right guy. Step out.
All right. Stop.
Come on. Hands, please. Front back. Are you sharp?
No, sir.
Where's the marijuana?
I have it in my car, but I have a weed card. I have a weed card.
6 feet apart. Right now you're just being detained. You're not under arrest.
All right.
Seems you have a very hostile attitude.
No, I really don't.
See, the blue car
which one?
Was tailing me.
Yeah.
While I was pacing a tractor trailer looking for a motor vehicle violation because the governor's office has gotten multiple complaints on traffic stops.
I know.
Okay?
I know that.
So we're out doing our thing.
Okay.
He decides to pass me and flip me off.
All right, Spino, I'm sorry. Dude.
All right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So who the fuck do you think you are worried about what I'm doing?
Okay. You're right.
I know I'm right, goddammit! Shut the fuck down! Everyone's got something to fucking say! Mind your own goddamn business! You're fucking speeding! How about I start with that? No shit! I was following that kid for a reason, and if you hadn't done that fucking stupid stunt, I'd be with him right now. But no! You just couldn't leave it alone, could you? You had to be a fucking American. God help you if there's anything illegal in this car. Is it in the original dispensary container? What? It's roach. Is it in the original dispensary container? No. Then you're fucked! How's that sound? No shit! Mind your own fucking business next time! Yeah, it's called shut the fuck up! I was driving along, I was gonna head to a simple citation that I give, but no! You gotta be... Just couldn't fucking shut your mouth. Where are you going anyway? Where do you work? Where?
It's called American Pulp.
What's that?
It's
paper?
Yeah, you know, like the liquor bottles and stuff that the shit comes in, like the trays. I promise you, I only have weed in the car. Honest to goodness. And it's all right here in my glove box right here.
You ever heard of what a heat seeker is? A heat seeker is something that draws attention to itself. Heat-seeking missiles, they go for the heat. Sit the fuck down. Did I tell you to move? Why am I speeding? I'm doing my fucking job. Connecticut General Statute 14-298 allows law enforcement officers to disregard the traffic laws in the performance of their duties. How the fuck am I going to catch a speeder if I'm not speeding? You late for your job at NASA with physics? Where do you want this doesn't get trashed? I can tell. I don't want to get ruined. Unfucking-believable. It just never fucking ends in this fucking job. I got 14 months. I can't fucking wait to be done. This ought to tell you why our department, instead of having 1,300, has 850 right now. There's a fucking clue to the public. What a bunch of assholes you are. Right there. You want it on paper or not? Is it in the original dispensary container? No shit. Turn around. Everything across the thing. You think I'm kidding? You think I'm fucking kidding? Look at me. Do I look like I'm happy with you right now? Shut your fucking mouth, mind your own business, and be on your way. Don't you ever fuck with me again.
Hey, could I just ask you why you're riding?
All right. I know that's a little serious, a little crash out, and a little funny. You know, I know all of us have wanting to do that at least one time in our career. So I totally get it. Not saying right, wrong, or indifferent. But therefore, you know, you're working, you're getting complaints from the public, you're working to trying to solve those complaints, and then you have someone else coming in and want to add their 2 cents. They have no idea that what's even going on, and it deters you, and then they want to give what they believe their philosophy is, what their viewpoint is, and it just gets chaotic. And we're going to show the other video. I forgot, I do have one about rolling your window down and the expectation of a traffic stop. Once you're on the traffic stop, do you have to comply? Do you have to get out of the car if told to do so? This will explain it to you. Then we're going to see the other second half of that same video, the outside portion. All right.
You don't see my license? There it is. Take a picture, it'll last longer. Now, we see on social media where people are saying, you don't have to hand your license to the officer. You don't have to roll down your window. All you got to do is show it to them. And there ain't nothing they can do about it. And there are even attorneys that are promoting this, and it's just wrong. Look, there's a case called Pennsylvania versus Mims, and you've heard me talk about it before. And if the police officers pull you over and it's a legal traffic stop, then they are allowed to get you out of the car. So no, you don't have to roll down your window. But if you don't roll down your window, they're gonna serve that writ of habeas snatchus grabus that asses and pull you right through it. So, if they order you out, just get out. Now, you don't have to answer questions without an attorney. You don't have to perform any test. I'm not telling you that you are giving up rights. But according to the Supreme Court, you don't have the right to sit in your car and not get out if they order you out. You don't see my license?
Exactly. So therefore, all the ones that like to argue that is true. That is law. It's officer safety right there. But here's the second video, the same video that we just previously saw, the outside portion of it.
Hey, could I just ask you why you're riding their butt like that and speeding, man?
I'm running his license plate. Why are you speeding?
I was only going 60.
Speed limit's 40.
50.
Signs.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Oh, give me the weed, too.
No, I have a...
Yeah,
I have a medical marijuana card.
Step out.
I have a card.
Step out.
All right. Stop, man.
You want to fucking run your mouth? No problem. You came to the right guy. Step out. See, the blue car was tailing me.
Yeah.
While I was pacing a tractor trailer looking for a motor vehicle violation because the governor's office has gotten multiple complaints. He decides to pass me and flip me off, all right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So who the fuck do you think you are worried about what I'm doing?
You're right.
I know I'm right, goddammit! Everyone's got something to fucking say! Mind your own goddamn business! You're fucking speeding! How would I start with that? I was following that kid for a reason, and if you hadn't done that fucking stupid stunt, I'd be with him right now. But no! You just couldn't leave it alone, could you? God help you if there's anything illegal in this car. Is it in the original dispensary container? No. Then you're fucked! How's that sound? Mind your own fucking business next time. It just never fucking ends in this fucking job. I got 14 months. I can't fucking wait to be done.
There you go. That's the outside port, a quicker version of it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed the Podumentary. There, make sure to tag, like, share, subscribe. We got a couple charity events going on here. The same one that's been going on before. Where's my On Your Own Way? Got the hoodie here. You guys have seen the shirts. Let's see if I can get some pictures up here. Got the hoodie right there. Bear with me. I don't have anything queued up right now. Let me see if I can find some pictures to put up here. Got a bunch of pictures I want to show you guys from some events that have been taking place in late with the hoodie on. I don't have any of the t-shirts. No, sorry. Yeah, that's the hoodie itself. But I'm going to talk about the Own Your Own Way and charity event that they have going on.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Nate Lewis here. I'm the founder and CEO of The Innocent, and I just want to say thank you to Own Your Way Tribe. We appreciate the fundraiser that you just launched, this new t-shirt that's supporting us so we can support law enforcement here in the United States to protect children from child sex crimes. You see, The Innocent was founded here in the United States to protect the children of the United States. Every single dollar funded by the people stays right here in our borders. And what we're doing is we're going into communities and training law enforcement. Our team of instructors are all active duty law enforcement. They have years of experience doing these type of investigations, and they go into communities and we recruit several agencies and we train them how to proactively go out and hunt these predators and traffickers. It's much more extensive than that, but that's kind of the gist of it. We're also providing them with state-of-the-art technology and some of this equipment to make them efficient and effective. We want them to be building the strongest cases so they get the longest sentences for these predators that are being arrested. So all of our trainings are real operations, real live chats, real things going on in the classroom. So if you're a law enforcement officer, we need to get out to you. It costs you $0. That's the cool thing about what we do. It's free, absolutely free to law enforcement. So hit us up, theinnocent.org too. And again, thank you. Own Your Way Tribe. We appreciate you and the collaboration and the fundraiser. It's our job to protect them all. Hey, what's up, everybody? Nate Lewis.
There we go. There we go. And therefore, I'll make sure the links in the description box below. Own Your Own Way Tribe and the Innocent. Therefore, for human trafficking, and those dollars go toward the charity, and that stays here locally as far as this. The country here, the United States of America. And also, just so you're aware, because I was told that even if it's grifting or not, to go on here and show the love and support, because putting on this broadcast isn't free, of course. The website is, I'm a one-man rock band. I do have a friend that helps out with the website per se, but paying for that, paying for the AI, paying for the platform, getting the equipment, to the microphones, the cameras, the lighting, going out and doing the interviews. It takes a toll, but it's something that's necessary and needed to get the message out there. But I was also told to create the AI clone of myself for the donation portion of it. So if you feel so inclined, make sure you tag, like, share, subscribe, because those are free. If you want to do a little more, then I'll have this explanation here going right now.
Welcome back, warriors of our community. This is Black and Blue, the podcast where we shine a light on the heroes among us, our first responders. Today, I'm reaching out with a heartfelt request. If you are so moved, every episode, we uncover stories of bravery, dedication, and sacrifice. But to keep this vital conversation going, we need your support. Imagine the impact we can have on educating the public and uplifting the very agencies that protect us. If you believe in the mission of Black and Blue, consider making a donation. It's not just about money. It's about standing with those who stand for us. You can help fuel this movement. Here's how you can contribute. You can find us on Cash App at Coach Clee, on Venmo at Coach Clee, or through PayPal at Clee Tillman. Every contribution, big or small, makes a difference. Together, we can continue to honor their service and educate our communities. From the depths of our hearts, thank you for standing shoulder to shoulder with us in this mission. Your support fuels our fight to honor those who serve and protect. Now let's gear up and dive into today's powerful episode.
And we already dove into it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I know it's a long form content there because we're making up for the past months as well. It's going to be clipped in the short form content as well. So if you couldn't watch it all, then it'll be up there for you to get whatever segments that you missed out on or what you're looking for. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know things that you like. Let me know things you didn't like, whatever kind of critique. But I'm going to show you what's been going on the past month. These pictures that kind of came in a hodgepodge, but like I said, the Keystone Connection conference took place. B-Sides got Matt Dotz up there making the announcement. He's a guest on the show. He's also got his newsletter going on, Threats Without Borders. Subscribe to that. Keystone Connection Conference, a couple guys we had fun with, got to meet up with them, and this is in between sessions. B-Sides again right there, the pictures there. Of course, there's an award that I was presented with for doing that. I got to do a presentation earlier in the year for a kindergarten class at a private school. I didn't know I was going to be receiving an award, so I got an award earlier that year. Also, again, at B-Sides right there. This is the award, part 2 of the award. Like I said, they're out of order, so I'm sorry. But just kind of going off that. I got to meet Ernie Stevens and Chad Bruckner at I forget the name, the Wellness Beyond the Badge, with the 3 of us right there. And again, that was a great training that I got to go to, that was put on. Not only that, but I got to meet Ernie face to face. He's been on the show twice now, I believe. Also got to purchase his book. If you haven't already got your copy here, I got mine, so make sure you go to his website and do that. I already had a copy of Chad's book, Chad Bruckner, but I got to meet him face to face as well. 2 great guys, and I'm looking forward to doing more things with them. But if you haven't already got your copy with Chad, it's on his website as well. Make sure you guys check them out on LinkedIn. You can find out all the things that they're doing, the podcasting, the videos, the books that they have. Ernie also has, if you're not already aware, he had the HBO special Crisis Cops, and he got to explain that a little bit. So it was nice meeting those guys. The coin right there, the back, front and back of the coin, that was the front, and this is the back. Ernie right there, the brochure, the book I just showed you, Chad's book I just showed you, and I also got to meet up with hospital HR director at a community event, and get a picture with them while they were donating time and services to the community. So that's a quick catch up on things that's been going on. I think I got it. If you guys haven't, I know I talked about the platforms again. Clark Tent for the fun stuff, YouTube for the fun stuff as well. Sergeant Be Safe is on YouTube. Black and Blues on YouTube. Tag, like, share, subscribe. We're also on LinkedIn. This will be uploaded on Spotify. If you're on Facebook, the Coach Clee page. Also the Black and Blue page, also the One Way Publishing page. If you ever wanted to write your own book, I'm in the process of writing. What number will this be? Number 8 now. I think I have a couple of digital. I have a couple hard copy books, but we're in the process of writing one now. YouTube pages starting to be safe. One Way Publishing, Clark Tent. TikTok, we're out there. We're putting that information out there. So I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in, all you guys and gals. I hope you learned something. I hope it was enjoyable. I hope it was educational. This is your motivational speaker, your empowerment coach, the coldest code switching detective, Coach Clee, coming at you. I appreciate all of you. Take care, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good night. I got to see how we're going to get out of here. Pictures aren't working. But as we got other things coming down the pipeline, I will keep you guys informed. When that book does come out, you guys will know about it.
Black as you is, it's a whole lot of blue still shining through.
Just the facts, ma'am.
I'm not a bad cop.
I never once said you were. It would be real simple if the problem was bad cops. It ain't.